So welcome back to the channel today. Today I'll be showing you guys how to cut this luxurious bubu gown. So if this is what you're interested in, let's get started. So first I folded my fabric this way. I folded it and I took my shoulder measurement divided by 2 and the length of the sleeve. So I folded my fabric. Okay, this is a 4 yards of fabric. Yes, so I folded it in a way that it would give me the needed sleeve measurements I wanted. So neck width 3 inches, well the back neck depth 2 inches, then the front neck depth 8.5 inches. That is what I took there. So I went ahead to take the bodies, like the measurements for the bust, the waist, the hip measurement, and what I have as my hip measurement, that's the same thing I took for the length, like the down part of the gown. That is what I took. I took exactly the same measurement there. So my camera wasn't capturing, so that's why I had to place it this way for you guys to see. So I went ahead to take all the measurements and I gave it 3 inches allowance, sewing allowance. So I didn't want this bubu gown being too big, yes, on my clients. I just needed it to look a bit fitted. So that's why I took 3 inches allowance. So 3 inches was just perfect for it because it wasn't too big and it wasn't too small. It's fitted. So after cutting that out, I removed the back parts. Like, you remember it's a cutting, like, yes, the shoulder lines were not separated. So I went ahead to take 2.5 inches for the front, the front, what I'm going to be putting there. So I went ahead to trace at 2.5 inches. So I'll be using the bridle in place of that. I'll cut that out and I'll cut it out with a bridal material. That is what I'll be using there. So after I did that, I went ahead to mark out the shoulder line. Then I open up the dress like this. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I went ahead to trace it out so that I won't miss that line. So all my measurements will be starting from there. So that's the shoulder line there, and that's the back. So I went ahead to come in from the neckline. I took 5 inches. So after taking 5, I went in again to take 6 inches. Then I took the midpoint there of 6, which is 3. So I marked 5 inches, then I marked 6 inches. Then the midpoint of the 6 inches is 5. So from the 3 inches, I traced down to 16 inches. That's 1 inch above my half length. Yes, that is where the pleat there will stop. That is where I want the pleat to stop. So I took 16 for both the front and the back. For both the front and the back, I took 16 inches for both sides. I did the same thing for the other side. From the 3 inches I marked, I took 16 inches downwards. Yes, for where the pleated part will be. Then I went ahead to mark 5 inches. 5 inches from the back and the front. That is where I'll be sewing to. I'll be sewing from this 5 inches to that 5 inches. Yes, that is how I want it. But you can decide to sew from the 16 inches you mark to the other parts, the 16 inches at the back. But this is just fine for me. I'll be sewing it from the 5 inches I marked there and to the 5 inches there, making it 10 altogether. Yes. So if you've watched to this point, it means you have learned something. So please, if you're a new subscriber, do well to subscribe and turn on your notification bell. So let's go ahead. You go ahead to press that with a hot iron. You go ahead to sew that and press it with a hot iron. Then I already cut out my lapel. I've already cut this out and I already ironed it. So after I was done sewing this part, I ironed it and this is what it is looking like. And this is how I'll be attaching it to that front. And that's all for this video. And this is it. If you're new to my channel, please do well to subscribe. I love you.